Good morning, everybody. This is Vince with Listings to Leads, and let me know if you can hear me and if you can see my screen. If you could put it in the comments panel, I'd appreciate it under the call. And also, let me know if you can just give me a yes or no, like can you hear me? And also, let me know kind of works against the audio. We'll give it just 1 minute. And John, you're saying yes, you do work FSBOs right now. So that's a question for you. And the rest, as I see you logging in, let me know. Have you worked FSBOs in the past? Are you, ideally you're planning to work them now, and we're going to show you just how easy it is and why you should do that. So let's give it just before we get started. I'm going to just sort of go into the front of the homepage and give us kind of an introduction, right? So Listings to Leads does many things, and today we're going to concentrate on FSBO marketing. But I do want you to know, in case you're new to us and you don't know everything that we're doing, on the left-hand side is a panel showing a lot of the tools that help you capture leads. This could be buyer leads, it could be seller leads. You may have listings and we can help you get leads, or you don't have listings and we help you get leads. So on the left-hand side, easy Facebook ads, easy Instagram, Google ads in just a couple clicks. Marketing funnels in the shapes of landing pages for listings, in PDF guides, and just landing pages like what is your home worth, and new construction, and first-time home buyer landing pages, and a FSBO landing page. And we're definitely going to be talking about that in just a couple minutes. We also have just social media posts and content, so it can really help you build your social media followings, even if you don't like social media. I know I talk to agents every day, and I hear that every day. But you can turn on our automation. We will put real estate related content there. It's colorful, it's conversational, and it's helping our clients grow their networks. We also have a lot of email tools. We have a lot of print tools that get high value leads. We'll certainly be talking about those today, about FSBOs. And then we got a marketing calendar, and we have all kinds of ways for you to capture leads. So that's what Listings to Leads does on the marketing side. On the right-hand side of the screen, we see that we have kind of, drip campaigns in email. We have very powerful AI text follow-up, which is converting 11% of our leads to phone calls. And I think everybody's very comfortable on the phone, but getting a lead from an online source and getting it to a phone call is the tricky part. And that's why AI text is super awesome. Now, we do have a lot, like I said, we have a lot of email content, and that's, to get people to landing pages, get people to PDF guides and things like that. So the left side is how do you market? The right side is how do you convert? Now, if we log into our account, everybody by default already has a template for FSBO landing pages, okay? And that's really where we want to start, right? And talk about how you create that and what you do with it, right? So I was talking with an agent 2 weeks ago, and she is new, she's new to EXP. And so as a new agent to a bigger brand, they've got her on like a training track, right? And it's like, hey, you got to get 5 listings in 5 weeks. And they said, go out and generate FSBOs, right? Go talk to FSBOs, because some of those people might be willing to hand those off. And so I talked to her a little bit about that, and that is exactly what she's doing. So I want to give you, before we go into the details of not necessarily why, but how, I want to give you just the short story, right? And that is, there are landing pages for many different topics. I mentioned that on the homepage, right? But we actually have landing pages specifically designed for FSBOs. So when you come to your landing page section, click on landing page, and hit this drop down and hit the FSBO one. Okay. And whatever city you are in, or, and some people do this at the countywide, but, I know I was just talking to somebody who is working in the Los Angeles area, and there's this area, a big area called the Inland Empire. So she's like, yeah, let's create it that way because she's going to reach out. So I'm just going to put Walnut Creek. That's an area right by me. So we're creating a landing page for that area specifically designed for FSBOs. And that's all you have to do is just choose the one you want and type in the area that you want to focus on. And at that point, your landing page is created. You can click up here where it says view, and let's look at it. It's pretty straightforward, right? Hey, selling your home on your own in Walnut Creek, would you like some free tools, right? And that's the gist of it. It's very easy. And so people might say, yeah, I want some social media marketing, and I'd like a virtual tour, and I might like something like YouTube or something like that, right? Whatever they choose, they can then click, I want these tools, and then they have to give you their information. Okay. And that's the simplest part of it. We'll come back and go further into it, but now kind of how to create the landing page and what it's basically going to do. We're going to come back and we'll leave this here, but let's talk about very simply, well, now that you created it, how do you get it anywhere, right? And so when we are on here on the landing page section on this FSBO, you can click on marketing tools. Okay. And these are the ways to get it into the market. Now, you'll notice that we have FSBO and or Facebook ads. That's kind of always at the top, but we don't really recommend running ads, especially on Facebook, for FSBOs. Think of it this way. Whenever you run an ad, if I typed in Walnut Creek here, it would say, okay, Walnut Creek in 15 miles. This is anybody who drives within a 15-mile radius of Walnut Creek. And that can be literally 1 million people. Okay. That's just because I live in a dense area, right? But FSBOs, of all the homes that are for sale in our county here, what percentage is a FSBO? Now, I don't even think it's 5%, right? It may be higher or lower in your market, but you do not need a Facebook ad to target those people. I do recommend, and I was listening to Scott talk about this, I do recommend running an ad on Google though, because when you run the ad on Google, we're going to have keywords like selling your home yourself and, what's the commission? And so when people start asking questions about how they can sell their home themselves, this would pop up, right? This landing page would pop up, and we do that from keywords, and you would type in Walnut Creek and everything else is kind of written. Okay. Now we can also share it to your social media accounts, but honestly, okay, you can do that because it's not really, it's still working for your brand. We can do it automatically. However, who following your social media accounts is a FSBO, right? It's actually not a huge number of people. So what can really be effective are print tools, right? We have print flyers, we have postcards and door hangers, and I think any of these are great solutions. So let's just look at the print flyer, and I'm going to download it. Okay. And the print flyer basically gives some bullet points of what the landing pages are going to say, right? So you could go buy those little clear plastic, I think they call them chicken bags, I've heard them called, which you can put a piece of paper in it and go hang it on the door, right? Or you could knock on the door and say, hey, you know what? I'm an agent, and I see you're selling your home yourself. Would love to be able to give you some free tools. Really, the point of this is to start a conversation with that homeowner, because I think it's average a FSBO will hand off their listing to a realtor within 2 months, okay, of starting that process. It's you're dealing with buyers, you're dealing with all kinds of things that a homeowner wasn't expecting. So by using something like this to get it in front of them, you're starting the conversation, right? You're meeting that homeowner. And when they get tired of dealing with this themselves, you will very likely be the agent that picks up that listing. And that's the whole point of marketing to FSBOs. This flyer you can see is branded to you. It's going to have your logo. They can scan and they're going to land on this page, right? And that's going to help them, choose the tools that they want and then give you their information. So the point is you create the landing page and then you get people there. I actually think another great way of doing this is either printing postcards and mailing it to the house, or printing out the door hanger and just driving by the house, right? And just putting it on the door. Actually, all of these things, mailing a postcard, hanging a door hanger, it's a great idea to do both, right? Now, if you happen to have the email address, there is an e-flyer that you can send yourself. So if I send this here, and this looks like the print flyer, but it's the email version, you can send yourself a test email and it'll show up inside of your email. And then if you're like on the internet, maybe you're on Zillow, maybe you're on Craigslist, maybe you're in your MLS and you see a FSBO and you see an email, you can then forward this email, which is again directing people to this landing page, right? So the thing to think of it is you're creating a landing page. You are using print tools because these are not thousands of people in your market. It's maybe dozens, right? Maybe dozens every week. So if you go print off some flyers or some postcards or some door hangers, and you can do that at Vistaprint or your local printer, or even Amazon has printing now, you've got print tools to get to those people directly. Do not think about running a 15-mile radius ad on Facebook, okay? You can do it on Google, and I like it. It's worth testing to see how that works. But, this is a finite group of people, and you can approach them this way very easily with print. And if you have email, with email, okay? So let's talk about what happens when whatever method you use to get people to that landing page, what happens, right? So you remember I clicked on a couple tools. So we're gonna ask them their name, right? And I'm gonna type in my name here. And this is what the person, what's happening, right? And so I'm gonna put in a 2 Pleasant Road. And phone number. Get my free tools. Okay, that's how it works. And it says, hey, do you have a photo of this home? Right. So they're still on the landing page and they're like, yes, I do have a photo. Right. If they don't, you're still going to get their contact information, and you'll be able to just reach out and say, hey, I noticed you didn't have a photo. Can we get one? I have a photo of a home right here. So I'm just going to upload it there and then boom, send images, right? I'm going to ask them a few questions. And you remember the form that we filled out before, they might say, yeah, you know what, the price here is $500, right? And they fill this out and they can say whatever kind, this is almost like, you filling out an MLS, but it's a FSBO, right? And they can put whatever they want here and then send the information. Okay, so we're still, let's see, maybe I had to put this in, sorry. Let's see if I can do this now. So at this point, the FSBO has told you what tools they want, and they've given you the information on the home, right? So just to be repeating what I'm describing here, I went to the landing page section. I clicked that green button there that said create landing page. I created the template. We already have the template already designed for you for FSBOs. And since I've done that, I won't do that again. Let's just refresh this page. But your landing pages are down here at the bottom. And when we scroll down on the landing page, we'll be able to see the ones that we just created. So I think mine is FSBO right here, Walnut Creek, right? So that's the one we just created. And then we went through the marketing tools and we talked about the multiple ways to market. But the whole point of marketing is to get them to the landing page, get them to fill it out, ask for a few tools, give you a photo of the home, and get the address. And so now you've got some, a way to start engaging that person. But what's really cool is when they went through and filled that out, we created a listing automatically based on that property. Okay. So let's look here on my listings page, and you'll see that I have what's called a FSBO draft. Okay. And that's the home that we just did. So let's click on marketing tools and see what's going on. Now, if you're familiar with our platform, you know that we create a bunch of tools automatically for marketing any listing, if specifically it's your listing or if you borrowed it, right? And so this letter is pre-written, and it says, hey, whatever the homeowner's name is, this is, you from your office, and I wanted to personally thank you for asking for the tools. And it says, this is everything that's going to happen. This is everything that's there. So they can click through and see all these things. You can send this as a draft to make sure that everybody, likes it, and then you can approve it. And then if they say, you know what, I would really like something to share on my social media, well, it's already generated right here. Here's a single property website. Here's a virtual tour. They can share that. You could even say, hey, would you like me to run an ad on Facebook, right? And you figure out how that's going to happen. But all of these things are tools to get things out there, right? To start to market that home. And that's really the whole premise of reaching out to a FSBO from our perspective, right? Engage them, get the information about their home, give them marketing tools. That interaction is building the basis of a relationship that ideally you can turn into a listing. Okay. So any questions so far with what I've been talking about? Because what I've been talking about is how to create the landing page, 1, how to market the landing page, 2, how the landing page actually works and how it creates, a marketing system for the FSBO. And the last thing I want to talk about is, well, now that you've got that going and you've had some rapport and you've gone back and forth, and maybe that took a week or maybe that took a couple days, and now maybe that relationship is a little bit stronger, in a week or so, and you say, hey, would you like to see how I sell homes, right? And they might be interested in that, right? They may have spoken to like a dozen buyers, and that can be a frustrating experience, right? So right here on this same page, you'll notice that we've got a listing presentation. Downloading it is in print. Flipbook is in a flipbook format. And let me ask, has anybody seen our listing presentation? We actually, Scott and I did a call on this last week. It was a very solid call called Top Tools for More Listings. If you're not familiar with listings to leads, or if you're a new client, there is nothing more I recommend than either joining our live classes like you are today, or checking out the recordings on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to copy this and send it to everybody right now. Okay, so if you're on the call here, this link is coming to you. And you'll see here that just yesterday, I did a call on Facebook ads. And boy, that was a very good class. A lot of questions from a lot of our clients. And I definitely recommend watching that, because Facebook is one of the most important things that you can do to get leads, right? Right now, I'm not sure where you are in the country, but I can tell you we have clients across the country in Canada and parts of Mexico and the Caribbean. And the story is things are kind of slow. Interest rates are still high. Prices were elevated from COVID. And so the market is kind of like, it's not completely locked up, but there are a lot of agents just dead in the water right now. Okay. And so this page is going to help you understand things that are working today for our clients in this market. And Facebook is one of them. This onboarding class here is really great. Sold advertising is huge, always. And then Top Tools for More Listings. This is a call here that Scott and I did on the listing presentation. It was on August 11th. But actually, there is a broader, normally when I do Top Tools for More Listings, like 4 weeks ago, it's really a broad farming discussion. How do you develop more listings in the areas where you want to go, right? And our listing presentation is part of that. So let's go and look at the listing presentation. So before I went over to YouTube, I clicked on the button to download it into FSBO, into Flipbook. And it definitely takes a moment because it's a 26 page document. And for every client that I have personally spoken to in the last 2 months, and so I talk to a lot of agents, right? As they're signing up or they have questions. And every time I ask them, do you have a listing presentation coming up? And they will either say yes or no, right? And if the answer is yes, I tell them, hey, go create a custom listing presentation for that home. Now, in our dialogue right here, we're talking about a FSBO homeowner, right? And you can see it's presented for the homeowner at that address, right? What we put in there. And the photograph that they uploaded is now in this listing presentation. Our clients are using this listing presentation for canceled, for expireds, for FSBOs, and just for a straight listing lead, right? There are lots of ways of capturing seller leads with our platform. And I cover a lot of them here 4 weeks ago, top tools for more listings. Lots of ways of getting seller leads, right? But what do you do once you've got that lead? Well, you want to go meet them. And this is what you want to take with you, right? And you present this. And it talks about everything that we do for listing marketing, right? If you're a client of ours, you know that this is just a standard automated part of our system. And when I click through, I want to get you to the place where this presentation closes a listing. And it's right here where mobile marketing is and QR codes. Right. So when you're here and you get to mobile marketing, just pause, because you've probably been reading through this presentation. You're sitting at the kitchen table with a homeowner, or in this case with the FSBO, and say, hey, you know what, FSBO, why don't you take your smartphone and scan that QR code right there? And you guys are welcome to do it here while we're talking, because what will happen is it will send them a link and they can click on it and their home's going to be right there on their phone. And after a few seconds, some lead capture is going to pop up on their phone. Right? So it's really showing you and your technology power that you bring to real estate advertising. So basically, you are able to market way beyond the average realtor. And this thing spells it out, right? And their home is on every page of these. That's why this listing presentation has won every presentation that I have talked to for every agent for the past 2 months. Okay, it's because this is very simple to understand, and it conveys what you're actually going to be doing. And this page right here is closing the deal. It's literally, they don't even have to go beyond this. So we do have more to it, but you know, that's kind of the point there. That's what it is. So you captured you created the landing page. You used our marketing tools to get it in front of people. They filled it out. They created a listing automatically, and we created a listing presentation for you to go out there and convert that FSBO into your own listing. Any questions about what I have said here? Do we need to repeat anything? Is it not clear? I do want to. I'm waiting for questions, but let me say this: you can create unlimited landing pages in every one of your accounts. The landing pages that a lot of our clients really prefer are instant home value pages, like Property Valuation Plus. That's what we call it, right? I have one here for San Antonio. You can customize these so that they look like your market, so people know that you know their area, because you're going to be asking them for their information, for their address and contact information. So you can also create landing pages for expireds. Right? They're just created automatically. You just use expired listings. And the reason why I'm telling you this is FSBOs is a way to get more listings, right? But reaching out to expireds with similar tools and similar landing pages and similar listing presentations is a great way of getting expireds to turn into listings for you. Our clients are also using our listing presentation to engage canceled listings too. And those things are starting to happen more lately across the country, because pricing isn't right or interest rates are too high, something like that. So if you want to, get out there and have multiple tools to get more listings, these are just a few of them, okay? Definitely do not ignore the listing presentation when you are going to go on an appointment. I will point this out to you. On the listings page, you already have a pre-designed listing presentation. It is not about a particular home, right? It's not about a particular listing, right? This is just a little more generic. It's almost, exactly the same, but it's more branding about what you do when you market, right? So when we looked at it, the photographs are a little more generic, right? That we put in there. So it's all, this is ready for you. So if you are like, all of a sudden you've got a listing presentation that you've got to be on, and you don't have time to create one specifically for that home, you could just go right here to listings, listing presentation, boom, and it's ready for you, right? I actually created one, and you can do this yourself. We created that listing presentation from the FSBO automatically, right? Just from using the landing page. But if you go create one here, because maybe you spoke to a homeowner, maybe you captured a lead from one of our tools, and now you have an appointment, put their name, put a headline like beautiful home in Cincinnati, and put the address and beautiful home in Cincinnati, and add one photo, and you're going to have that listing presentation. Okay. So lots of ways of capturing leads. We won't be covering all those ways today, but that is the point of this class that I did 4 weeks ago. That's called Top Tools for More Listings. That covers very thoroughly all the ways that you can capture leads. So let's go look back at this one here. Let's go to landing pages. And I just kind of want to wrap up, right? Remind everybody what we're doing. You can create the landing page to engage FSBOs right there by clicking that button. You can then, design that for any area you want. And when you click marketing tools, this gives you the ways of how you get it out into the market. And I just want to repeat, I think using Facebook is not a good idea for FSBO advertising. I think print, getting it directly to the house is a great way. If you have their email, that's a great way. The email is pre-designed. It's got links that they can click, and they can fill out that landing page just the way that we did together. I do think Google could be great. It's worth testing out, right? But when you think about printing, I just to kind of make this clear for you, you can download this and you can send it to Vistaprint, right? You say, you know what, I just want 100 of these, maybe 500, right? Max. And they're not listing specific. They are not address specific. They are pointing to the landing page, and that's where the person puts in their address and their photo and all that information about them. So by just having a stack of these ready and dropping them off at the house when they become a FSBO, that's just the simplest way of doing it, right? I do think, and you can probably imagine, that they may not respond one time on the first thing, right? Maybe they do. That's why I think printing postcards and mailing those out to the FSBO, maybe driving by a week later and hanging the door frame on there, the door hanger. And then also, if you find their email address, send them the flyer so that they're getting that same message multiple times, right? Just like converting anything. It's you're lucky if somebody responds in one time, right? So again, once they get there, they're going to land on that landing page. Let's see if I can get it to it here. They can ask you what tools they want, and then they can upload a photo and give you the address and give you their contact information. And that's how you have an actionable lead, right? You've got the contact information, you got the address, they own the home, and maybe at some point, they might want to give that listing out. So let me ask you, that's the story of how to engage FSBO marketing. I will also say that if you have any questions, please put it in the comment panel. And I'm going to go to PDF guides because I do think we have PDF guides, well, definitely for sellers. So if you don't know about our PDF guide section, you each have 80 PDF guides, okay? And 40 of them are for home buyers, and 40 of them are for home sellers. But I think if I type in FSBO and search, I think there's actually one design for a FSBO. right there. So if you capture that lead, right? Let's say you printed you created the landing page, you printed the postcards, you dropped them off, they filled it out. You can start sending the email, but you can also just print this and maybe, put in a branded envelope and drop it off and say, hey, I wanted you to have this. This is I think it's a 5-page PDF guide of what a FSBO should think of, right? So you're, really the whole point from the landing page to this, and for you being a realtor, is you're bringing value to these people, right? You're not just asking for a listing, you're bringing value the whole time. This is particularly branded and designed for a homeowner. So it's going to give them high level things of what to be thinking of, right? When we go back to this, if I take this out and search, I'm going to see all the PDF guides. And there might actually be a few that would be, into that person, right? And so you can sort of drop these off. Again, capturing a lead, that's what we're all about, right? We're listing leads. We've been doing this for 16 years. Converting the lead into a transaction usually takes some follow-up. And there's some tools here that can really be valuable for that homeowner. So you're giving them stuff that's all branded to you, that's going to keep you in front of that FSBO until they're ready to hand that off, right? That's really the whole point of it. Any questions? I don't see any questions here. So let me say, I appreciate you guys being here. You do have to, if you have questions about anything about our platform, feel free to ask right now. I did send everybody the link to this. Our live classes are usually over here. And it's funny because normally this is live on YouTube. Oh, there it is, live there. Yeah, that means that red circle means we're live. So, you can sign up for live classes, but every live class and every class we do is recorded, and it's going to be right here on this page. And I definitely recommend that you all kind of get your arms around our platform and use this YouTube channel to help you get there. A lot of things happen. Like, we are constantly adding new functionality and new tools, and the market is always shifting. And if you don't know this, we have our mastermind group. If you're a client, you should be in this mastermind group. And whatever is happening in, like, whatever feedback we're getting from our clients might be sharing it right here. And if they don't, they're sharing it with us directly, we'll be sharing it right here. So the reason why I'm telling you that is we get so much feedback from our clients. We know what's working right now in today's market. And that's why I'm suggesting when you get over to this YouTube channel, watch the first few rows, because we're going to be talking about exactly what we are pushing from technology and exactly what clients are telling us. And with that, I'm going to give you one last thing to think about. We talked about FSBO marketing. You can do that with a lot of different parts of the system. The thing that we are seeing our clients generate business from right now in listings to leads is the listing presentation that we've talked about, our Facebook ads, which I mentioned we just did a class. I think I just did a class yesterday. That is a very, if we go over here to videos, I think it's the first one. Yeah. Master Facebook ad. You need a master Facebook ads if you're going to be in real estate. If not, you're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. So that covers it in depth, but also our open house marketing. So if you go look for it, there's a really great class on open house marketing. If you look up this name, Brian, I think just search on Brian, you're going to see that we did a call with Brian Matheson. And where is it? Actually, yeah, that's not it. That's it right there. It's Ryan is a long-term office client, and he is so strategic about his open house marketing. He's not the only person doing it. Let me give you the short story. And I have an email to this. If you want it, you can email me and ask for the open house. What we see is clients who are running 2 to 3 ads, $50 each every week, which means you're spending like $400 a month minimum. and hosting 2 to 4 open houses every week, they are getting more listings and more buyers than all their competitors. Our open house marketing doesn't mean you drop a date in the MLS and wait for things to happen. It's way more proactive. It's way more about presenting you and your value. It's designed to engage homeowners in the neighborhood. And that's why our clients are realizing that's the work we need to do now to be competitive and have more business and close more transactions in this market today. So it's open house marketing, Facebook ads, our listing presentation. That's what I really want to make sure. And if you want emails on any of those, you can email me at vince@listings2leads. I'll put that in here right now. But we're doing live training on these concepts, I want to say 5 days a week. So I hope this helped you. FSBOs is definitely, I think engaging FSBOs, engaging expireds and canceled, we have tools to help you on all of those fronts. And today we spent a little bit of time talking about FSBOs. I hope you can leverage this. We do have a great support team always, and you can ask questions there. Where's my mouse? There it is. The support team's down here, and the whole team is watching that email. So if you put your question in a box here, you can get your answer very quickly. Everybody, thanks so much for joining me. I think I sent my email, but it is on the website. It's Vince@Listings2Leads. If you need anything, feel free to let me know. And if you are, getting these tools out there, you're engaging and engaging FSBOs, please get in the mastermind group and let everybody know. That's an important thing. And the feedback from our clients, it's motivating our other clients to try some of the same things. So definitely check. Oh, Neil is still in the business. Oh my God. Okay. Neil's been a client of ours, I want to say, for 15 years in Naples. Anyway, everybody, thanks so much. Have a great week, and let us know how we can help you. Thank you.